Good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Babita Pandey, lecturer of Department of Civil Engineering, IIMT College of Polytechnic, Greater Noida. Today, I'm going to discuss about the topic sewage treatment plant. Sewage treatment plant. So, what is the sewage treatment plant? Why we need treatment plant? Firstly, sewage is the raw material which is unused and which is not fit for drinking purpose. We termed it as sewage. Basically, sewage treatment plant occurs in three stages. That is primary treatment, secondary treatment, and tertiary treatment. So now let me tell you about what is sewage treatment. Basically, sewage treatment is the process of removing contaminants from the wastewater and household sewage, both effluent and domestic. Sewers. What are the use of sewers? Basically, the sewers are the removal and disposal of sewage and the surface water by sludge. We can define sludge as the muddy or slushy mass, deposit or sediment, such as a precipitated solid matter produced by water and sewage treatment plants. So, these are some of the basic definitions which we use while we are dealing with the sewage treatment plant. Importance of sewage treatment plant. Now, let me tell you what is the importance of sewage treatment plant. Why we need sewage treatment plant. Basically, for understanding anything, we should know what is the need of sewage treatment plant. So, it is very important to provide some degree of treatment to wastewater before it can use to be used for agriculture and landscape irrigation. The principal objective of sewage treatment is generally to allow human effluent to be disposed of without danger. See what happens if we will dispose the sewage directly into the water. What are the primary concerns we're going to face? The first primary concern which we will face is the aquatic life. The fishes and all the marine life will get affected as the sewage contains the contaminants which are very harmful chemicals. Because you must remember that by using kitchen work or like rice and everything, they had organic compound in it. So we should be very careful while disposing the sewage. And as per the research, a large number of people die with waterborne diseases. See, I would like to explain this line by saying, suppose you are living nearby a lake or nearby a marine thing. So what will happen there? If a person is continuously disposing the sewage into the water, so definitely it will affect the aquatic life as well as the persons or people nearby that place who are living nearby to that, because most of the people will use that water for their domestic uses and household things. So, according to the research, it is found that many people die from waterborne diseases in most of the developing countries. Therefore, it is very important to have the treatment of water for a healthy living. So now we know what is the importance of sewage water treatment plant, why we need it. So in short, only I can say that sewage needs to be treated because it is harmful for our life, as well as we cannot dispose it into land as is in water for the agriculture purpose or anything else. It will affect the lifeline of crops and aquatic life as well. So we basically need it for a healthy living. We need that water to be treated. So now we will deal with how the sewage treatment plant actually works. Before that, I would like to share what are the sources of water. Like we know what is sewage, that is an untreated water which is harmful for aquatic life as well as human life. But now we will get to know from where it is coming, from where the water is coming. So firstly, washing water, the water we use for washing, rainfall collected water. You must have seen in places where the roofs, their water is collected. What happened? After some time, some of the mosquitoes, some of the flies, they come residing to it. And thus, we definitely fall ill. So that is a source of water which is harmful for health. Domestic sources, then direct ingress of river water highway drainage, human waste, and industrial waste. These all are the sources of water through which a sewage is treated, and by through which we can say these are the source of water which we can say in term as sewage, and we need to dispose it of because they are harmful for human health as well as agriculture. Now coming to the wastewater treatment process. What is sewage treatment process and what is wastewater treatment process? So as I told earlier, these here we will deal with the STP, that is sewage treatment plant, and I would like to tell you it happens in three stages. We can say, or we can say three pillars. That is primary, secondary, and tertiary. So by this chart, you can easily see that what type of the treatment is there and what is the treatment unit, what is the name of the unit, and what is the types of impurities removed. Okay, firstly, physical treatment. That is your primary treatment, and it is in that treatment, what are the things which happen? That is firstly screening, then it is happening grid chamber, and it also has clarifiers. Then second treatment is your biological treatment, in which the organic matter get decomposed with the help of microorganisms, and rest of the water is moved forward. And we use some of the filters like drinking filter, activated filter, oxidation pond, and etc. And what are the types of impurities removed in that? It is dissolved organic chemicals. Now coming to the third type of treatment, that is chemical. So as the name says chemical, you must be aware that we are adding some chemical for the disinfection, like chlorination we do. So we are having chemical reactors in it for the removal of dissolved chemicals. Now, by this chart, I would like to give a brief idea about how actually sewage treatment plant works. So, as you can see on the screen, pre-treatment. What does the pre-treatment means? Pre-treatment comes like, firstly, all the sludge, or I would like to say all the raw sludge. It is transferred to the screening membrane. Screening membrane, all the bigger particles like trees, plastic, which are bigger in size, they get out of there. They get separated by the screening, and rest of the particles went to the grid chamber. What happened in the grid chamber? Grid chamber, all the heavy particles like sand, they all get decomposed there. They got settled there. Okay, and all the particles like oil and everything, they got on the top surface of the tank. So from there we can scum it out. That is known as scum. That white colored particles known as scum. These all come under the pre-treatment process. Now moving to the first treatment process, that is primary. What happens in primary process? We can say primary tank or primary clarifier. What happens? Here we put the water into still position. All the raw sewage is put into still position. And as we know the phenomena, when we put all the particles in the still position, all the particles, all the heavy and density particles get settled down, and the light particles come on the top of the surface, which can be removed very easily. So primary clarifier or primary treatment includes these things. Now, we know that all the heavy particles get settled. Now, we know that raw sewage is having both the particles, organic as well as inorganic. Now, here comes the secondary process. Like what happens in the secondary process? So, in the secondary process, all the organic matter get decomposed. Right? Like what happened in secondary process, we add organisms. Okay. Now, what we'll see? What will the functioning of an organism? Organism needs food and organism needs oxygen to multiply itself. But what happens? Some of the oxygen is already present in the raw sewage. But we will put microorganisms in large amounts so that they can decompose more organic matter. So for that, they need more oxygen. So they will ask for the demand that is known as biological oxygen demand. They will ask for BOD. So definitely they will give the BOD. And now, once they will ask for the BOD, oxygen is provided to them with the help of an air compressor. Now the oxygen, the oxygen is applied to the microorganisms, so they will function their activity very nicely. They will decompose all the organic matter. So now coming to the last process, we will go to the secondary sedimentation tank, or we can say secondary clarifier. What will happen in that? Now all the organic matter has been already decomposed in the tank by the biological treatment. What will happen in this now? All the microorganism needs to be dead now because they are in very large amount. So what we will do, we will stop the supply of oxygen. Without oxygen, all the organism will die. They won't have the capacity without oxygen, so they will die. And unfortunately, we will be left with only sludge having chemical component in that. Some of the biological component will be there, but it will be moved again with the process by sending it again to the previous tank. The same process continues. So we are now left with only chemical organic matter. So now we will do this, that chemical matter, for chemical matter, now we will add chlorine as a disinfect and we will clarify the raw sewage. And the sewage which is not been clarified is again sent to the same process by the first primary tank, and the process again started like this. Okay, so this was the overview of how actually the STP works. Now I will move forward and I will tell you slightly what are the things. Here you can also see sludge digestion and dryer. So dryer sludge, what is dry sludge finishing and what are these components? So I would like to explain that as well. See what will happen when everything will, like, you cannot decompose all of the things, right? You cannot decompose all of the matter. So what you will do, the amount of matter which is not, the amount of sewage which is not decomposed will again send to the sludge, the rest of the thing, and it will be dried and the gases produce methane and everything will be used for the other things. Okay. Now coming to the treatment, I have given you a brief introduction about how the things work. Now we're gonna move ahead with what are the things involved in it. So primary treatment, as I told, it removes all the materials that can be easily collected from the raw sewage before the damage clogs the pump. Like I told you, basically the bigger particles like trash, trees, limbs, branches, and the settled and floating materials are removed and remaining liquid may be discharged or subjected to sedimentary treatment. So as I told you about screening process, so I would like to tell you about bar screening. What is bar screening? So the influent sewage water passes through a bar screen and it removes all the bigger objects like cans, racks, sticks, plastics, etc. carried in the sewage stream. This is most commonly done with an automatic mechanically raked bar screen in modern plants serving large population, whilst in smaller or less modern plants. Whilst means during that duration, during that time duration in smaller or less modern plants, and manually clean spring may be used. So I would like to share this photo of bar screen. You can see between these all the larger trash particles like your bigger trees and everything, they will separate out here itself and they will be removed. So you can see this photo and you can have clearly idea about what is screening and how it is happening. Now the next process, that was grit removal process, we can also term it as pre-treatment. It includes sand or grit channel. As we know, the name says grit removal means all the grit and sand removed here, where the velocity of the incoming sewage is adjusted to allow the settlement of sand, grit, stones, and broken glasses. These particles are removed because they are very harmful. And see, suppose if the sewage is containing some glass particle in it, what will happen once it will reach to the pipes? It can damage it. So it can disturb the whole process. So it needs to be removed very carefully. Now coming to the secondary treatment. Secondary treatment remove, dissolve, and suspended biological matter. Okay. Secondary treatment is typically performed by indigenous waterborne microorganisms in a managed habitat. Secondary treatment may require a separation process to remove the microorganism from the treated water prior to discharge, or tertiary treatment. Tertiary treatment. the purpose of tertiary treatment is to provide, see, we can say tertiary is the last stage, but after that also we are having the sludge dry process, which I told. But I would like to tell you about the tertiary treatment. So the purpose of tertiary treatment is to provide a final treatment stage to raise the effluent quality before it is discharged to the receiving environment like sea and river. Okay, because as I told, because you cannot dispose the sewage directly into the river because it will affect the aquatic life, people living nearby, and also it will affect the quality of soil, or people will have many diseases, waterborne diseases. If this inspection is practiced, it is always the final process, and we know, and it is also known as effluent pollution. Now, a term called activated sludge. So, in general, activated sludge, while performing in the secondary tank, or I can say secondary clarifier, what happens? All the dense particles, right? They get settled down. Microorganisms will oxidize all the organic matter, and they will get heavy. They will get dense, and they will get settled down in the bottom of the clarifier. That is known as activated sludge. Okay, and we know that and this is in general, plants, activated sludge plant encompasses a variety of mechanism and process that you dissolve oxygen to promote the growth of biological form that substantially remove organic matter. Now, as I mentioned in the tertiary treatment of filters, trickling filters and everything, I would like to tell you about high rate trickling filters. High rate trickling filters are a type of wastewater treatment system that uses biological degradation to remove pollutants from wastewater. They are recommended for treating medium to high strength domestic and industrial wastewater. Basically, what happens in trickle filter, the basic principle is they are having a bed in which they are having a layer of rocks in it. Water is passed through it. So the rocks, and through that water gets purified, everything is out there. And there we put some of the microorganisms, and they will oxidize the organic matter there itself. This is the photo of the trickling filter, and this is the way effluent enters this. Tension rods are there and sprinkler is there. You can see this is the section elevation of the trickling filter. Rotating biological contractors, they had contain a number of rotating discs. What happens? The disc keeps on rotating, and we add microorganism or the shield. So what will happen when the water will come into the contact of the shield? They will directly oxidize the organic matter. Now, at last, a simple definition, that is filtration. We are talking about filtration so much. So I would like to tell you filtration. We all know sand filtration remove much of the residual suspended matter. Filtration over activated carbon, also called as carbon absorption, reovers the residual toxin. Here we had slow sand filter and we had rapid sand filter. Slow sand filter is, as compared to rapid sand filter, requires less maintenance. It is cost effective, and but it is not easy to use. It is very time consuming. According to the required time and feasibility, we use the type of filter we need. Now, coming to a very general term, that is chlorination, which we are dealing with a lot of time. We are dealing with chlorination. We have see a very common example which everyone would have seen of chlorination is swimming pool. You must have seen that in swimming pool, we said that there is an addition of chlorine so that the people that are getting into the pool, they are not getting affected by the microorganisms or anything else. So chlorination is a water treatment that destroys diseases causing bacteria, nuisance bacteria, parasite, and other organisms. Chlorination also oxidizes iron, manganese, and hydrogen sulfide so that they can be filtered out. See, one question which everyone must be thinking is that we have done primary sedimentation, then we have done secondary sedimentation, we have even removed all the organic and inorganic substances. Then why we need this disinfection? Why we need to add some chemical chlorination? Why we need to do this, right? So the answer of this question is, see, STP sewage treatment plant is a process, but you cannot say in the primary sedimentary tank all the things are getting sedimented. You cannot say in the biological tanks all the organic matter got oxidized. Yeah, most of them. We can say most of the organic matter get oxidized. Same. So while coming to the tertiary treatment, we have some of the chemicals still left or salts still left in the raw sewage. That's why we really need the disinfection process, and so that we need some of the chemicals. So most commonly the chemical which we use is chlorination. Now a term was introduced before, that was sludge drying bed. So I would like to explain that as well. When a liquid sludge is produced, further treatment may be required to make it stable for final disposal. Like, you have done all the things. You have treated the water, but now you need to dispose it. For disposal, what you need? For disposal, you need to put it for because you cannot dispose it then to itself. You need some time. Okay, for that you need to make it suitable for final disposal. Typically, sludge are thickened, dewatered to reduce the volume in transport so that they are easy to transport for site disposal, because sites are very far from the cities and everything. There is no process which completely eliminates to deposit the biosolids. At last, I would like to explain you, like these were the brief introduction I would say about sewage treatment plant. But I would like to give you a formula also, a general formula of how you can calculate the size of a treatment plant, or we can say capacity of a treatment plant. So if you're giving, suppose you're giving a total domestic raw water demand TWG, estimated sewage that is X. So it is always the 90% of the total domestic water demand. Now you can say estimated sewage is X. So it can be calculated by 90 divided by 100 into TWG. For example, if total domestic demand is 1500 KLV, capacity of STP will be 1350 KLV. We're getting very easy to calculate the size of our sewage treatment plant. Now, coming to the space requirement for 130 STP, let's assume the total depth of the 3.3 meter, including freeboard size 300 mm and liquid depth 3. The size of the STP will be how much? It will be breadth. Let's assume the breadth 450 by 15 and it was to 30. Then total space will be 135 here. So this was the way how you can calculate the size of a sewage treatment plant. So now I would like to end my slide by saying this. This was all about sewage treatment plant and what are the processes involved in it. It was a brief introduction about this. Thank you so much. Have a good day.